Hey there, folks. Okay, so imagine this. You're sitting on your couch after a long day at work, right? You pull out your phone, open up that brokerage app, the one you're almost afraid to check sometimes, and boom, there it is. Gold just absolutely crushed another record, shooting past $4,700 an ounce. And this is happening right now on January 20th, 2026. And here's the thing. While you're looking at that, you're also seeing your 401k bouncing all over the place because of these tariff headlines. Your emergency fund? It feels like it's getting smaller every single day because of inflation. And you're sitting there thinking, okay, wait, is the economy about to completely tank again? So here's what I want you to understand, and this is the emotional truth of it. When gold hits records like this, something is usually wrong. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's real. This isn't one of those champagne-popping, we made it kind of moments. It's actually a giant flashing warning sign that fear is in the driver's seat of the market right now. Have you ever had that sinking feeling in your gut? That feeling where your portfolio feels like it's just one bad news cycle away from serious trouble? Yeah, that's exactly where I've been, and honestly, if that's you too right now, you're not alone. So let's break this whole thing down together.
My name is Praku, and look, I'll be honest with you. I spend way too much time thinking about gold and how it becomes this ultimate safety net when markets get really ugly. And if you're like most of the Americans I talk to on a regular basis, maybe you're in your 40s, you're hustling in a city like Chicago or wherever you are, you're balancing a mortgage, you've got kids' college funds you're trying to save for, retirement dreams you're working toward, but at the same time, you're always stressed about stock market dips, rising costs, or whatever new policy Washington's cooking up next. If that's you, this video's got your back. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna unpack why gold spikes when everything gets chaotic, and more importantly, how you can smartly weave it into your investment strategy without falling for all the hype and nonsense out there. If this sounds like the kind of real, honest talk you need right now, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and let's keep this conversation going in the comments. Alright, so right off the bat, let's tackle something that I hear all the time, and it's a really big misconception. Most people think gold is just this flashy status symbol, right? Or they think it's a set it and forget it kind of wealth builder. Like, oh, I'll just buy some gold bars, stick them somewhere, and watch them grow forever like magic. And honestly, that's frustratingly off base, like really off base. Here's the counterintuitive part that most people don't get. Gold doesn't actually thrive when times are good. It's not a boom time investment. It's a crisis magnet. When everything in the economy is rosy and wonderful, gold might just kind of chill there, doing nothing, or it might even drop a little bit. But the second you throw in uncertainty, real uncertainty, fear, chaos, that's when gold absolutely surges because it becomes a hedge against all that craziness. Look at what's happening right now. Gold is up over 70% from last year, and that's happening right in the middle of all these economic jitters we're feeling. That price isn't yelling everything's great. It's yelling that the smart money out there is getting defensive. They're protecting themselves. So today, we're flipping that script. Those record highs you're seeing, they're not just random. They're not just some weird market blip. They're your wake-up call to completely rethink how you're protecting your money. Okay, so here's what most people don't realize, and this is where the numbers get really interesting. Gold has this killer track record when things get tough. And I'm not just saying that. I've got the data to back it up. Here's a shocking stat for you. In the last 8 recessions since 1973, gold rallied an average of 28% from 6 months before the recession to 6 months after it. And get this, during those same periods, it outperformed the S&P 500 by an average of 37%. Yeah, you heard that right. This comes from CME Group analysis, and it's absolutely mind-blowing when you think about it, because it completely flips the script on this idea that stocks always win. Here's another jaw-dropper. During the 2008 Great Recession, and we all remember how brutal that was, gold jumped 25%, while the S&P 500 absolutely tanked by 37%. The World Gold Council has documented this, and they've shown that gold had positive returns in 70% of recessions. 70%! That's not luck, folks. And if you zoom out and look at the past 25 years, gold has compounded at about 7.89% annually. Now, that's a bit less than the S&P's 11.11%, sure. But here's the thing. Gold shines way brighter when there's volatility, when things get shaky, when markets are all over the place. There are studies from the OECD and the World Bank about savings rates, and they highlight how households pile into gold when inflation hits that 3 to 5% range. And in those shaky times, gold's real returns often beat bonds. It's frustrating that we tend to overlook this until panic actually sets in, right? There's behavioral economics research from people like Daniel Kahneman that shows this is just how we're wired. It's our fear response at play. But let me give you one more that really drives this home. In 9 deep equity drawdowns, I'm talking serious market drops, gold averaged 19.4% gains while stocks were bleeding out. That's insight from firms like Van Eck, and it shows you that gold's not just surviving when everything else is tanking, it's actually thriving.
All right, time for some real numbers, because abstracts are nice and all, but let's talk actual dollars and cents. Let's see what this really looks like in your wallet. Say you dropped $10,000 on gold way back in 2000 when it was trading around $280 an ounce. Fast forward to today with gold at $4,700, that initial $10,000 has grown to about $168,000. That's a 1,580% return. Now, if you had put that same $10,000 into the S&P 500 Total Return Index, you'd be looking at around $77,000 today, according to Visual Capitalist data. Let me break down the timeline for you. Over those 25 years, gold gave you a 760% total return versus the S&P's 720%. Pretty close, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. In crisis periods, gold absolutely dominates. Let's project back to 2008 as an example. If you put $10,000 in gold when it was at $730 an ounce, and then 2 years later it hit $1,300, you'd be sitting on $17,800. The S&P during that same period, your $10,000 would have dropped down to $6,300. Ouch. Here's another one to think about. If inflation runs at 4% yearly for a decade, which honestly isn't that crazy to imagine, your $10,000 in cash erodes to only $6,700 in real purchasing power. But gold, averaging around 7% growth, could hit $19,700 in that same time frame. And there's a psychological tie-in here from behavioral finance. It's called loss aversion. We humans hate losing money so much more than we love making it. So we tend to hold on to cash way too long, watching it slowly erode because we hate the thought of losses more than we love the idea of gains. This is where it gets really interesting, folks. Like really interesting. Why do we humans just swarm to gold when it feels like the sky's falling? It's pure psychology. First, there's loss aversion, which I just mentioned. We dread losses about twice as much as we chase wins. This is from Kahneman's research. So when there's turmoil in the markets, we anchor to gold's safe reputation, and we just completely ignore any potential downsides it might have. Then there's present bias. We're craving that immediate safety, that right-now protection over long-term growth. So we ditch stocks, which historically grow really well over time, for gold's quick shield against uncertainty. There's also something called anchoring. We mentally peg gold to its 5,000-year history as a store of value. That's a powerful story in our heads. Social comparison plays a role too. When everyone around you is buying gold, FOMO kicks in hard. You don't want to be the only person who didn't protect themselves, right? And then there's mental accounting. We treat gold like our doomsday jar. It's completely separate in our minds from our growth investments. We put it in a different mental bucket. It's honestly frustrating how these psychological quirks from behavioral studies kind of hijack our decision-making. But here's the good news. Knowing about them lets you counter them. You can make smarter decisions when you understand what your brain is trying to do to you. Let me give you some principles here. When we talk about the math of compounding, stocks at 11% double every 6.5 years, so $10,000 becomes $20,000. But present bias makes us sell way too early because we're scared right now. In crises, gold's 28% average hedge helps preserve your wealth, while loss aversion can actually lock you into good positions when everyone else is panicking. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, Praku, but wait a minute. In a tech boom, isn't gold just dead weight compared to stocks or crypto? Shouldn't I be in those instead? I hear that frustration all the time, and I totally get it. The new shiny investments look really tempting, especially when everyone's talking about them. But here's my pushback on that. Crypto tanks right along with the broader market. In 2022, we saw a 50% drop in crypto prices, remember? While that was happening, gold actually rose about 5% during recessionary periods. Gold is real, it's physical, it's tangible. It's not digital vapor that can disappear. Another objection I hear is, but Praku, gold doesn't yield anything, it just sits there. And yeah, you're right, it doesn't pay dividends or interest. But in those fear modes, in those crisis moments, it's your buffer, it's your protection. There's this psychological concept called overconfidence, where we focus too much on yields and returns, and we completely ignore the insurance value that gold provides. Sometimes you need insurance more than you need returns. Let me give you a couple analogies that might make this click even better. Picture gold as your home's fire extinguisher. That fire extinguisher sitting in your kitchen, it doesn't earn you any interest, right? It's just sitting there. But when the flames hit, when there's actually a fire or a market crash, it saves everything. You're really glad you have it. Or think about it this way. Your investments are like a road trip. Stocks are the fast sports car. They're exciting. They get you where you want to go quickly when the highway is smooth and clear. Gold is the spare tire. It's not sexy, it doesn't make the road trip more fun, but it's absolutely essential when you hit those potholes or blow out a tire. You don't want to be stuck on the side of the road without it.
Okay, hold up. Because the surprises are about to ramp up here, and this is where it gets wild. First revelation, gold is absolutely epic during crises. Like during the 1970s stagflation, remember that nightmare of high inflation and stagnant growth? Gold soared 2,300% amid all those oil shocks. That's not a typo, 2,300%. Here's something even more surprising. After 9/11, when fear was just rippling through the entire economy and world, gold climbed 7% while everything else was in chaos. The momentum builds. In 2020, during COVID, gold was up 25% while the S&P actually dipped 1.4%. When the world was shutting down and nobody knew what was happening, gold was protecting people. Here's a real shocker. Over the last 25 years, gold's 760% return is right there nipping at the S&P's 720%. This completely defies that conventional wisdom that stocks crush everything all the time. And here's the ultimate twist for you. Looking at 2026 forecasts right now, analysts are eyeing $5,000 to $6,600 for gold. That's signaling ongoing uncertainty from tariffs, from debt levels, from all sorts of economic factors. The real discovery here? Gold often predicts economic rebounds and shifts, but it only helps you if you're actually positioned in it. You can't benefit from something you don't own.
All right, so after we've busted all these assumptions and looked at all this data, what do you actually do? Let me give you some concrete, actionable steps. First thing, scan your portfolio today, like actually today. You want to aim for about 5 to 10% in gold, and you can do this through ETFs like GLD. It's simple, it's liquid, you don't need to buy physical bars and worry about storing them. Second, run your own numbers. Grab a compound interest calculator online, they're free, and plug in $10,000 at 7% annual return for 10 years. See what that looks like for your situation. Make it real for yourself. Third, and this is the psychology piece, start logging your biases. Next time there's a market dip and you feel that panic, wait 24 hours before you act on anything. Just 24 hours. Write down what you're feeling. This helps you counter those emotional responses we talked about. Fourth, if you're skeptical, test it small. Buy $500 worth of gold exposure and compare it to crypto or whatever else you're interested in. Check it quarterly. See how it actually performs for yourself.
Fifth, using our fire extinguisher analogy, stock your extinguisher by opening a gold IRA now. Set it up, make it part of your long-term plan. And finally, watch the VIX. That's the volatility index. When it goes over 20, that's telling you fear is rising in the market. That might be a good time to shift 5% of your portfolio into gold as protection.
Let me tell you a story to really lock this in, because stories make this real. Back in 2008, I had a buddy. He's a teacher down in Texas, and he watched his stock portfolio get cut in half during the crash. Just absolutely brutal. But here's the thing. He'd been scarred by the dot-com crash years before, so he'd actually tucked 10% of his portfolio into gold a few years earlier, just as insurance. While all his friends were panic selling at the bottom, locking in their losses, his gold position doubled from $700 an ounce to $1,400. That buffer didn't make him whole, but it softened the blow enough that he could fund a major home repair he needed without having to sell his stocks at the worst possible time. And honestly, this is personal for me too. In 2020, when COVID hit and markets were flipping all over the place, that 25% pop in gold gave me breathing room. It taught me that gold's not flashy, it's not exciting, but it's fortitude. It's steady strength when you need it. Here's another story, and this one's a cautionary tale. I had a client who chased the 1970s gold peak. He bought in on all the hype, way overbought, and then when things calmed down, gold tanked and he was stuck. But here's the math memory from that story. If he'd held on to that $5,000 he put in and let it compound smartly through 2000, it would have grown to about $120,000, way outpacing inflation. The lesson? Don't chase peaks, hold strategically. One more. Back in the 1980s, after the crisis, gold kind of stalled while stocks were flying. I had a mentor who mentally accounted his gold as insurance. He put it in that mental bucket, and he held through that entire period even though it wasn't exciting. By the time 2008 rolled around, he'd grown his stake significantly, and it protected him when the crash hit. These stories blend the psychology and the math together. They show you, avoid overconfidence, let compounding work for you over time, and think of gold as insurance, not as a get-rich-quick scheme.
So let me tie this all up for you. When gold smashes through records like it's doing right now, it's your alert system going off. It's telling you that trouble's brewing somewhere in the economy. But here's the empowering part. You can flip that warning into strength for your portfolio. Take the return math we talked about, merge it with awareness of your own psychological biases, and you can forge a really resilient financial setup. You can get to that place of freedom where market volatility doesn't steal your sleep at night, where you're not anxiously checking your phone every hour wondering if your retirement just evaporated. My challenge to you, act now. Don't wait until the next crisis when it's too late. Tweak that allocation we talked about, start monitoring those signals, and claim the secure financial future that you're working so hard to earn. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I'd love to hear your own gold stories or questions down in the comments below. What's your experience been? Are you already invested in gold, or are you thinking about it for the first time? Stay sharp out there, folks. Talk to you in the next one.